Good afternoon, ELD2. So, you read this story the other day, Building Bridges. Today, I'm going to explain some of the things to you. So, you can open up your textbooks to page 34. That'd be the easiest thing for you to do to follow along. We are going to talk about a couple of things. Number one, we're going to talk about character analysis. Who is this person in the story, and how do you know? One of the ways we're going to make that decision is by looking at the dialogue, the way that the characters speak to one another. We are also briefly going to look at the word called dialect. Dialect is the way someone speaks, the sound, the tone, the inflection, the accent. That's kind of all in the dialect. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to jump in here to the first page. And the first thing I see here is, "And don't ask me again about signing that permission paper," she said. "I ain't going to be the one who allows you to take part in such foolishness." Here's what this tells me. Number one, her grammar isn't that good. She says, "I ain't gonna be." Now, some people speak like that, but generally, people who are less educated are going to speak like that. "I ain't gonna." So right away, I can tell that Mama Lil is probably not very well educated. The dialogue and the words she uses helps me to make that understanding about what kind of person she is. All right. As we continue down a little further, we get a little bit more story about Baby. She says that Mama Lil thinks, so she's thinking in her head, she thinks, Mama Lil thinks that I weigh too much, so she's fat or overweight. Mama Lil thinks she dresses badly. But I, the narrator, the person speaking the story to us, which is Baby, says, I think she smokes too much and she overdoes it with her fake gold chains. So Mama Lil smokes cigarettes and wears gold chains. And Baby doesn't like that. So we have both characters who find fault and both characters who find flaws with the other. Mama Lil thinks she's a little overweight and dresses badly. Baby thinks Mama Lil smokes and wears bad jewelry. And then Mama Lil says, so here's the dialogue. How you ever gonna land a decent man with them chunky arms and those t-shirts that put your navel on parade? Your navel, of course, being your belly button. So Mama Lil is kind of criticizing Baby. It's kind of mean. She's saying, you got fat arms and nobody wants to see that belly button. Put it away. All right. So that tells us a little bit about who these characters are. They kind of fight, they kind of argue, they don't really get along that well. If we move along here to page 35, we see that Baby wants to be an engineer. She wants to go to college where she can study engineering, which is a really impressive kind of thing. That takes a lot of technical understanding, usually a lot of science and math. And so our main character, the narrator, Baby, she wants to do something really neat, work on bridges, go to college. Most readers are going to be like, all right, that sounds good. But we get the sense here that Mama Lil doesn't like it. And here's why. Because Mama Lil says, you're stupid to do a bunch of low-down mess work. The words that Mama Lil uses are negative words. Stooping means bending over, but it also carries this idea of grunt work, slave labor, menial tasks, a job for unimportant, dirty people. And she goes on and says it's a bunch of low-down mess work. Working on a bridge is just like being a janitor and sweeping garbage. It's no good. So we know Mama Lil doesn't like this idea because of the words she uses. If we turn the page, we get another example. Down here at the bottom, it says that all of Mama Lil's friends had convinced her that baby was headed down the wrong path, which means going down the wrong trail in life. She's making bad decisions. All of her friends are like, Mama Lil, you're not going to let her do that, are you? And Mama's Lil like, nope, not anymore. That sounds terrible. So they convinced her that baby was going to get her life into trouble. And then Mama Lil says this, ain't no black woman doing no engineing. Do you notice it says engineering? Well, the real word is engineering. There's an extra syllable, an extra sound in there. Engineering. And here's what it means. It means I don't even care enough to learn the right word that you love. And that's insulting to baby. And baby's like, it's engineering. I'm not engineering. I'm not going to work on cars. I'm an engineer. I build and design bridges. Big difference. And so we know that there's this conflict and this problem because of the language that's used there. All right, we're going to move right along now down here to the bottom of page 37, where it says, I leaned in the doorway, my anger rising. Mama Lil, your eyes are always closed to seeing me. Baby is saying, Mama Lil, look at who I am. Don't look at my face. Don't look at whether I'm fat. Don't look at my clothes. But look at the person I want to be. Look at me and know me. Know my heart. Stop ignoring what I want, because so far in the whole story, they've just been fighting about this thing. And finally, baby's like, you don't get it. This is who I want to be. Please don't reject me. And we can tell this by the word she uses. Closed to seeing me. She says, the bridge is where my heart's at. So we know what baby wants. Baby makes it very clear. She says in the dialogue, this is where my heart is. This is what I love. Mama Lil, please support me in the things I love. All right, here we go. Continuing right along. Right in the middle of the page, Mama Lil says something that's very honest, but still hard. Mama Lil let out a heavy breath, and a heavy breath is that sigh. Then she admitted what we'd both known all along. And Mama Lil says, your dreams are the kind that'll take you away from here. They'll take you away from me, Mama Lil. So Mama Lil says, listen, if you go to college, you're going to leave. And if you become a fancy engineer that builds bridges, you're going to go all over the world building bridges, and you won't be here with me. If you worked at the beauty parlor, it would be just down the street, and you could be here with me. If you remember at the beginning of the story, it says that baby's parents are dead, and Mama Lil is the only family she has. And Mama Lil only has baby. So you can really start to understand how Mama Lil maybe was being mean, but it wasn't just to be mean. She was doing this because her own heart was going to get broken. Mama Lil would have to say goodbye to baby, and that would be hard. All right, the story continues. It's the morning that baby has to go. She wakes up early, she can't sleep, and we have to wonder, is Mama Lil going to sign the form? So far, she has said no, and we know this because she said no. She said, I don't want to sign that form because it's bad work, it's grunt work. You're better than that. So we have to wonder, is she going to sign it or not? And baby comes down the stairs. She comes out to, I don't know if she comes down the stairs or not. She comes out to the kitchen. Page 41. Mama Lil could see the upset pinching my face. And it means like when we squeeze our faces when we're upset, pinching the face, right? Mama Lil could see the upset pinching my face. And Mama says, now hold on, baby. Don't be so quick to put on that down in the mouth expression. Down in the mouth expression. Mama Lil saying, whoa, baby, don't be so frustrated and angry with a pinched face and an angry mouth. And baby says, but you didn't sign the form. Calm down. You're jumping out the gate too fast. And so there's some of that dialect that we were talking about, jumping out the gate too fast. You have to look at those words and know that in English, what we're saying is it's like you're a racehorse and you're false starting. You are going before you're allowed to go. Hold your anger because it's not time for you to be angry yet because we haven't actually given you a reason to be angry. Mama Lil's saying, slow down. Let me finish. All right, taking us to the last page. Right here in the middle, it says, Mama Lil pushed her glasses up on her nose. They were speckled with dots of grease that had sprung from the hot ham skillet. So she's wearing her glasses, she's cooking over the stove, and the grease is popping up. If you've ever made bacon or ham, you know what I'm talking about. And it splatters up on her glasses. And now she sits down, and she pulls out the papers, and she puts on her glasses. And she says, will you help me read these papers, baby? Will you help me understand what it's saying to me? This is a big turning point where Mama Lil is willing to understand where baby is coming from. And then it says, Mama Lil took a pen from her house dress pocket and she signed the form. I hugged Mama Lil good and hard. So it has a happy ending. Mama Lil does sign the consent form and she says, it's okay if you want to do this. You might go away. You might leave me. But I love you and your happiness is really the best thing. So it's very sweet. So what's interesting is we have this dialogue at the beginning of the story that shows Mama Lil and baby are fighting and arguing. Sure, they might love each other, they're family, but they are not getting along right now. And that's the conflict in the story. That's the problem. And as the story continues, Mama Lil keeps going further to one side and baby is going further the other side, and they're getting farther and farther apart. And it's only at the end when Mama Lil says, help me understand. You're smart. Help me read these documents so that I can sign them so that you can do what you want to do. It's very sweet. I hope that helped you understand this story a little bit better. If there are vocabulary words you don't know, please make sure you email or comment or reach out if you are still confused about something. But for now, I think that's going to be it. So we'll say sayonara, hasta la vista, bye-bye.